up, the federal government will remain shut down into next week. This after the Senate headed home for a long weekend without any votes scheduled until Tuesday night. How the shutdown is already impacting hundreds of thousands of federal employees. Then, one person is dead after an officer-involved shooting outside of a Chili's in Las Cruces. What we know about the incident so far. And it looks like we're in for a rainy weekend. Tirza, is that right?
Paulina, that is right. After a breezy to windy Friday, a good part of the area is expected to see heavy rain through the weekend thanks to moisture from not one, but two tropical storms. I'll have more details in your full 9-day forecast. KTSM 9 News Plus starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon and thank you for choosing KTSM 9 Plus, our digital newscast. I'm Paulina Spencer. Monica has the day off. We begin with a story we've been following closely. The government shutdown is now guaranteed to drag into a third week. The Senate left town last night after failing once again to reopen the government, and they won't come back until Tuesday. By that time, it will be the fifth longest shutdown in history, and the shutdown impacts are starting to pile up. Today is the first day federal workers will see a hit to their paychecks. Meanwhile, military personnel will miss their first paychecks on Wednesday. And the impact of the government shutdown is also being felt at the FAA. News Nation's Mike Viqueira has more on how air travel has been affected.
The government shutdown means a slowdown at some airports. I'm Mike Viqueira, News Nation Washington Bureau Chief. On Thursday, the Federal Aviation Administration reported that there were at least 9 facilities or towers that were impacted by staffing shortages and weather. Those included Newark, D.C., Hartford, Boston, Chicago, Indianapolis, Albuquerque, Roanoke, and Central Florida. Delays due to staffing shortages are being blamed in part on the shutdown. Here's a look at some of the airlines impacted. Roughly 15% of United and Delta flights were delayed on Thursday. About a quarter of American Airlines flights were delayed. For Southwest, about 30% were impacted. Friday is also the first day that FAA workers will only receive a partial paycheck. That's a result of Congress's failure to fund the government, resulting in that shutdown. The shutdown is expected to stretch to at least Tuesday, as both the House and the Senate have recessed for the weekend. I'm Mike Viqueira, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Meanwhile, Congresswoman Veronica Escobar says she has put in a formal request to withhold her own pay during the government shutdown. In a statement sent to KTSM, Escobar said, in part, quote, "If federal employees aren't getting paid, members of Congress shouldn't either. I'm withholding my own pay until all 18,000 federal employees in El Paso and all service members at Fort Bliss are paid," end quote. The federal government has been shut down since September 30th after members of Congress were unable to come up with an agreement on spending. KTSM has created a government shutdown guide with information and links available for those affected in Texas and New Mexico. You can find it at ktsm.com. And first at 4, a former CBP officer pleaded guilty to a series of federal charges, including bribery, human smuggling, and drug trafficking on Thursday. This is 32-year-old Manuel Perez Jr., and he admitted his role in multiple conspiracies that, according to federal investigators, spanned several years and involved human and drug smuggling across the southern border for profit. Perez Jr. was charged with several charges and faces up to 45 years in prison. A federal judge will determine his sentence at a later date. And taking a break from our headlines, let's take a live look outside using our tower camera. It's looking beautiful out there. I feel like today has just been what you see is what you get. Tirza, yesterday we saw some suspicious clouds. I thought it might have rained, but it did not. But today, pretty straightforward, right?
Paulina, such a good way to put it. You're correct. What you see is exactly what you get, which is
like
ideal for me. I love when days are like that, but this really is the last day if you want to get out and enjoy your weekend, your early weekend at least. I would say Friday today is the day to do it because we are looking at breezy to windy conditions, but nothing really too bad. We are looking at rain for the weekend though, and a good majority of the weekend going into next week. We even have a heavy rain threat on our radar. And when we take a look at the radar right now, we do notice some storms over in Phoenix. Over here, not too much happening. We are pretty dry. That moisture has moved out of our area, but like I mentioned, not for long. We do have a red light set over the next few days. For Saturday, we're dropping down to 87 degrees. We're looking at those evening storms beginning, and this is really going to kick off just a couple of days of potentially heavy rain and potentially flooding in our area for the borderland. We're even down very low, 75 degrees below average temperatures, likely showers throughout the day. I will have more details and a full breakdown in our full 9-day forecast that's coming up in just a little bit. But for now, Paulina, I'll send it back over to you.
Thank you, Tirza. Let's take another live look outside, this time at traffic. It is 4:05. This is I-10 Azarco. It looks pretty good right now. As you can see, headed west over here, we're seeing a lot more heavy traffic. This is I-10 US 54. As I said, it looks good right now, but it is Friday. People are going to start heading home, so just keep that in mind. To a developing story now. One person is dead this afternoon after an officer-involved shooting outside of a Chili's in Las Cruces. According to the Las Cruces Police Department, the incident happened around 6 p.m. yesterday at the restaurant's parking lot on South Telshore. Police say they got reports of a man identified as 50-year-old Philip Adrian Mullen threatening people at the Chili's. Police say when they made contact with Mullen, an officer fired at least one round from his gun. Officers say they tried life-saving measures, but Mullen died at the scene. The officer will be placed on standard administrative leave pending further investigation. And the Las Cruces Police Department's traffic unit issued 29 citations during a 1-hour enforcement operation this week along Loman Avenue. According to police, of the 29 traffic citations, 10 were issued to drivers who were speeding, 9 to drivers without proper registration, and 4 for drivers without proof of insurance. The operation was held along North Solano Drive at 3 p.m. on Thursday and only lasted about 1 hour. Police say similar traffic enforcement operations will likely be held in the coming weeks. And in case you missed it, Governor Greg Abbott says cities and counties need to remove roadway markings that display political or ideological messages, and that includes the pride flag painted on the street between Stanton and Missouri in Pride Square. The order follows new federal roadway standards meant to keep intersections free from distractions. TxDOT has since sent letters to cities and counties across Texas giving them 30 days to identify and remove any decorative or symbolic crosswalks that don't meet those standards. The risk of not complying could mean losing state or federal funding. The city of El Paso says it's aware of the directive and is reaching out to TxDOT for guidance. But some advocates say the move goes beyond safety and sends the wrong message.
As if this is being used as a way to divide our community. It just seems to be playing really into this idea of identity politics, where we are politicizing people's lives.
Perez says the rainbow crosswalk isn't political, it's personal, a symbol of visibility and belonging for a community that often feels unseen. Now, this crosswalk is staying put, but city leaders say they'll keep reviewing the directive as more guidance comes from the state. And to read more on this story, just visit KTSM.com. And El Paso has been named the most bilingual city in the United States, according to a new study. Coming up, we go over your thoughts in today's In the Comments segment. Thanks for watching KTSM 9 Plus, always putting local first.
The KTSM 9 Plus streaming app is finally here, and it is absolutely free. And downloading it is super simple. On your Roku remote, hit the home button. Head to the streaming store, search for KTSM 9 Plus, and click download. Once installed, you'll have instant access to live newscasts, weather updates, and exclusive local digital content from KTSM 9.
In today's In the Comments, El Paso has been named the most bilingual city in the United States, with approximately 40% of its residents being bilingual. That's according to a new study by Preply. The study analyzed U.S. Census Bureau data from the country's 25 largest cities to see where bilingualism is most common, defined as residents who speak a language other than English at home and report speaking English very well. According to the study findings, nearly 7 in 10 residents of El Paso speak a language other than English. Los Angeles, California came in second place, followed by San Jose. And in case you're wondering, Detroit, Michigan is the #1 least bilingual city in the U.S. Now, we shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts you wanted to share. We began with Julia L. White, who shares, "When you fly into the airport, everyone is speaking Spanish predominantly. It's a wonderful thing. I know I'm home." Meanwhile, George Allen writes, "I don't know, everyone I talk to here listens to me in English but respond in Spanish. LOL, but it's cool, we figure it out." And TJ Johansson writes, "It is not really bilingual, they use Spanglish." Now, I love this story. Being bilingual is truly a privilege, and to me it means double the music, double the movies, double the jokes. It's great. And you can read more on this study by visiting KTSM.com. And here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Well, up next, spooky season is officially underway and there are several community events happening this weekend. We're going to have much more on that.
The most reliable internet you can count on. It's only everything.
Welcome back, Borderland, and happy Friday. We had another above average day for today. We saw temperatures right now, they're currently in those mid 80s range, but we are going to see a cool down. Looking at our temperature trend, we're dropping down to those mid 70s, well below average as we head into early of next week. And that is because we have multiple tropical storms in the area. But for today, we are looking at those winds and those gusts. They really are the main headline. 22 miles per hour in El Paso, 18 over in Las Cruces, Silver City, and Deming at 24, with TRC at 17 miles per hour. And looking out the door, we're currently at 85 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and those lighter winds moving at 15 miles per hour. As for Las Cruces, partly cloudy as well, 81 degrees, and you're looking at 13 mile per hour winds with those wind gusts at 18 miles per hour. Now, as for those lows tonight, we are going to be around 67 degrees in El Paso and over in Juarez, 65 over in Las Cruces, Alamogordo as well, and TRC and Deming matching those numbers, 57 in Silver City with 53 over in Ruidoso. And for tonight, the main theme is still going to be the winds, those wind gusts going anywhere to 25 miles per hour for both El Paso and Las Cruces. Now for tomorrow, quite an active day. We do have storms beginning in the evening. These will be scattered showers potentially at best throughout the evening. Going into the overnight hours, we'll see a high around 87 degrees. So if you want to get anything done, make sure you do it earlier in the day before that rain starts to come down. Very similar conditions over in Las Cruces, 85 degrees for your high, and very likely you will also be seeing storms and showers starting in the early evening hours, moving into the overnight hours. For the highs across the rest of the region, 82 in TRC, 82 over in Deming, Silver City at 74 degrees, Ruidoso cooler at 73, with Cowcroft at 62 degrees, very enjoyable, and Alamogordo at 82. For those allergens, we're noticing a decline, 7 for Saturday, 6 on Sunday, and 3 on Monday, in part to all that moisture we will be seeing coming the next few days. As for the rest of our 9 hours, go ahead and take a look at our board. We are dropping down in temperatures as we move into our evening hours. By 8 p.m., 81 degrees, 76 by the time we get to 11 p.m. And for our 2 a.m. hour, we're looking at 74 degrees and some cloud coverage happening as we are heading into our early hours for Saturday morning. Now, our board is active for the next few days. We are seeing those showers begin to start with all the tropical storms moving around our area. We are seeing those remnants move over here to the Borderland region again starting on Saturday. In the evening, those nighttime showers and storms will kick in. They're going to last throughout Sunday, and this is where we see a drop in temperature that we'll have for a couple of days. So it will feel pretty cool, very nice conditions, well below average, which is around those lower 80s. We have a heavy rain threat for our Monday, those slight storm chances for Tuesday, and then as we continue to move throughout the week, the storm chances decrease. We see at the end of next work week, Thursday and Friday, some slight storm chances before we hit the mid 80s again for next weekend. But don't go anywhere. We have more news coming up. You're watching KTSM 9 News Now.
Welcome back. FloraFest is returning to UTEP this weekend for its annual fall sale to provide native plants for the community. Local master gardeners and plant experts will be at the Centennial Museum tomorrow to give plant advice to the public. This year marks the 31st year for the plant sale, and all proceeds for the event will go towards the operation of the Chihuahuan Desert Gardens. Tomorrow's event kicks off at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at UTEP's UGLC Plaza. And spooky season is finally here, and this weekend you can enjoy corn mazes, chalk the block, and even a Halloween town market. KTSM 9 News anchor Christina Rada brings us a closer look in today's ¿Qué pasa?
Hi, I'm Christina Rada with ¿Qué pasa? Want to know the best places to go this weekend? It's October and there's so much to do. Chalk the Block is coming to downtown El Paso Saturday the 11th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And that's not happening on October 12th. Now there will be vendors, live performances, and artworks by local and traveling artists. See you there. Ready to get lost in a corn maze? There's 3 this weekend. First, the Mesilla Valley Corn Maze opens Saturdays and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. in Las Cruces. Now they promise hay rides and duck races. There's also the El Paso Corn Maze waiting for you Saturday the 11th and Sunday the 12th from 1 until 6 p.m. There's a pumpkin patch and they'll have games and vendors as well. Plus the iconic La Union Maze in Anthony, New Mexico will be open all weekend and they're touting their 13-acre maze. Now they're also going to have a pumpkin patch and rides. You know, the corn in the cup there is absolutely the best. Hope they have some this year. Now here's something leaving us in October. Concerts and DJ jams at El Mont. Now this month they will have their final performance this weekend. It's the ultimate party icon, Pauly D, and he's taking over the El Mont stage on Sunday, October 12th. For information on these events and much more, visit KTSM.com or KTSM on Facebook. That does it for me. Have a fantastic weekend.
Well, definitely a lot of fun events going on. Don't go anywhere. We have another half hour of news and weather coming up after the break. Stay with KTSM 9 News Plus.
where luxury meets value, because Viva makes it happen.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 Plus. I'm Paulina Spencer. Monica has the day off. In case you missed it in our first half hour, a new state directive could soon change what some Texas roadways look like. Governor Greg Abbott is asking the Texas Department of Transportation to make sure all roadway markings follow federal safety standards, and that includes removing any designs or symbols that don't. The move could impact decorative crosswalks like the rainbow one in downtown El Paso. Our KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo explains.
If you've driven through this part of downtown El Paso, you've seen this rainbow crosswalk. It's right here at Pride Square between Stanton and Missouri, but it could soon go away. It's all part of the state's push to remove distractions from Texas roadways. This colorful crosswalk sits in the heart of downtown El Paso's Pride Square, and it's been here for years.
It really kind of represents love, community, safety, and connection. I think, especially for a community that oftentimes doesn't feel seen, it is a symbol of knowing that we exist.
Now, it's one of the crosswalks that could be on the state's radar. Governor Greg Abbott says cities and counties need to remove roadway markings that display political or ideological messages. It's part of a statewide effort to make sure only traffic-related symbols stay on Texas roads. Abbott says the move is all in the name of safety. The directive follows new federal roadway standards designed to keep intersections free from distractions and make markings consistent across the country. But some local leaders say it could send the wrong message.
When you talk to everyday people don't have these concerns. They're concerned more about our economy. They're concerned more about the state of healthcare. And I think that this is just another way of trying to keep us divided.
TxDOT has sent letters to cities and counties across Texas, giving them 30 days to identify and remove any decorative or symbolic markings that don't meet federal guidelines. If cities don't comply, they could risk losing certain state or federal funding. The city of El Paso says it's reviewing what the directive means locally, and in a statement they say in part, "We're currently evaluating the directive and will reach out to TxDOT for further guidance and clarification to determine if any of the city's existing roadway installations conflict with their most recent guidance." The safety of all roadway users, including motorists, pedestrians, and cyclists, remain our highest priority. Diana Castillo, KTSM 9 News.
Following our reporting last week of staff at the Doña Ana County International Jetport seeing stray bullets ricocheting off their property, including some of their planes, a nearby neighborhood says they too are seeing stray bullet holes and casings on their property.
One of them's right here. This one actually went all the way in. It penetrated into the house. And then this one here was another occasion, and the bullet was stuck just right there.
The subdivision is located east and at least a mile away from the hill where people usually target shoot, aiming west towards the Santa Teresa airport. But Gutierrez says he doesn't even feel safe in his own home, adding that he's seen bullet cases just a couple hundred feet away from his home. Raul Tellez, a candidate running for a city council seat with the city of Sunland Park, saying Gutierrez is just one of about 20 homeowners reporting stray bullets hitting their homes.
The situation at the wall, unregulated, unsanctioned, makeshift shooting gallery where that area is turned into over the course of the years, and unfortunately there's no one there to regulate that.
Doña Ana County Commissioners Gloria Gameros providing KTSM a statement saying the target shooting activity appears to occur on private property and that the county is exploring options within its authority to help reduce risk and protect residents. The commissioner saying the Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office and Sunland Park Police met to collaborate on the issue. The statement reading in part, quote, "This renewed partnership includes the sheriff cross-commissioning all Sunland Park police officers, a step that strengthens our shared ability to address public safety issues, such as trespassing on private property, and to work together proactively on community concerns," end quote. There will be a town hall meeting hosted by Gameros next week to address the issue. Well, switching gears, let's take another live look outside using our tower camera. It's looking lovely out there. I did Google the time of the sunset because I feel like our days are starting to get shorter. Summer's over, and according to Google, it's 6:40. How about that, Tirza?
Paulina, mildly offended that you had to go to Google when I am 5 feet away from
She sits across from me. I'm sorry, you looked busy.
You know what? That's okay. But you're right. We are looking at shorter days because summer is over. So we'll be noticing cooler nights, shorter days, etc., etc. Temperatures are also going down. But I agree with you. It was a beautiful Friday beautiful day. If you haven't gotten out yet, I would definitely do it because we are in for rain this weekend. I know it doesn't look like it when you're taking a look out the door, but we have multiple tropical storms and we are going to see those remnants and the effects of them hitting our region. So today really is that last beautiful day we'll have, at least for a little bit, because we do have quite active weather hitting. Right now, though, we are quite dry. We did dry out for our Thursday, even going for today, and it looks like we'll stay that way as we head into those overnight hours as we prepare for Saturday, which is bringing more precipitation that we will be noticing in the evening. Now we are going to see a high around 87 degrees. This is about 5 degrees higher than we should be this time of year, but then we drop down quite significantly for our Sunday, and this is really where we're going to see a widespread area-wide rain hitting the region. 77 degrees for your Monday, and of course we have the red light because we have a heavy rain threat. Now the unstable atmosphere paired with everything else really can create some difficult conditions, but I will bring you more details in our full 9-day forecast. Paulina, I'll send it back to you.
Tirza, thank you. In Austin, Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a motion in federal court telling a judge he believes the state's open primary system is unconstitutional. He's siding with the Republican Party of Texas in their effort to have closed primary elections, but the state official in charge of elections is fighting against Paxton's motion. Dylan McKim explains.
Election primaries are right around the corner in March. Right now, Texas is an open primary state, meaning you can decide if you want to vote in the Democratic primary or the Republican primary. But the Republican Party of Texas has filed a lawsuit to close the primary, saying the current election code violates their freedom of association because it allows Democrats to help choose the Republican nominee.
It creates problems for us, and it's not in our best interest to have Democrats choose our nominee. It just doesn't make any sense.
The Attorney General would usually defend the state in this case, but he's siding with the Republican Party and asking the judge to declare open primaries unconstitutional. Secretary of State Jane Nelson, who's in charge of elections, is not backing down, hiring outside counsel to help defend the law. Now, it wouldn't be groundbreaking if the primary is closed. Other states like Florida and New York already have closed primaries, and political experts say it's an effective tool to have strong political parties.
Having the parties with more say over the capacity to control their voters and therefore to pick who gets to be the nominees is important.
That was Dr. Brandon Rottinghouse, a political professor at the University of Houston. He warns it may be impossible to switch to a closed primary by March.
Either having people re-register to vote within a particular party or applying a person's prior primary vote as their indication of their acceptance to a particular party.
There have been attempts at the legislative level to close Texas primaries, but this past session, those attempts came nowhere close to passing. If Texas does close its primaries, Rottinghouse believes it could have a negative impact on independent voters.
A lot of people may just decide that they don't want to participate.
In Austin, I'm Dylan McKim.
Paxton is also intensifying a state investigation into the popular chat platform Discord after reports it was used by the alleged assassin of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Paxton says Discord has become a breeding ground for extremist content, sexual exploitation, and addiction, especially among minors. In a statement, the AG says, quote, "I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with the Trump administration to root out and defeat nihilistic violent extremism in all of its forms," end quote. This marks the second phase of Paxton's investigation into Discord's safety practices for children. We've reached out to Discord and have yet to get a response. From our DC newsroom, a federal judge ordering National Guardsmen, even some from Texas, to stand down. The judge calling the Trump administration's deployment of troops to Chicago a violation of the Constitution. Referring to the 10th and 14th Amendments, the federal judge states it also violates a nearly 150-year-old act, which limits the military's role in enforcing domestic laws. It was not immediately clear when the temporary restraining order will take effect and how long it will last, but the judge does plan to issue another ruling today. And First Lady Melania Trump made a rare announcement from the White House. She says she's opened communication with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Washington correspondent Vinay Simlot has more.
First Lady Melania Trump says she is communicating with Russian President Vladimir Putin about the welfare of children in Russia's war with Ukraine.
We must foster a future for our children, which is rich with potential.
The rare announcement from a First Lady who doesn't often speak publicly.
President Putin and I have had an open channel of communication regarding the welfare of these children.
A group of Yale University researchers found Russia has kidnapped more than 19,000 children from Ukraine. But this week,
8 children have been rejoined with their families during the past 24 hours.
Back in August, the First Lady wrote what she called a peace letter to Russian President Vladimir Putin, urging him to protect the, quote, innocence of children. When he came to the White House back in August, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanked the First Lady for writing it.
Many thanks to your wife, First Lady of the United States.
It was a beautiful letter. It was very well received by him.
Still, fighting continues in Ukraine. The Russians are attacking Ukraine's power grid as winter approaches, now more than 3 years into this war.
I hope peace will come soon. It can begin with our children.
The First Lady says she hopes for more children to be reunited with their families and for the war to end. In Washington, I'm Vinay Simlot.
Coming up, a man is dead after a shooting involving Las Cruces police outside a local Chili's. We hear from you in today's In the Comments segment. Then, Chalk the Block is this weekend, and this is just one of the amazing displays you can see. More on what this exhibit symbolizes when we return. Thanks for watching KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
I'm Isela Casas. You're watching KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
Check this out, Tirza. A giant banana art installation is set up in downtown El Paso this weekend to kick off the Chalk the Block festivities. This is a look at the giant inflatable as they were setting it up, and it's designed by Caroline Cam over at Cleveland Square Park. City officials say the installation is inspired by the online use of the banana for scale. The huge banana is called Pequeña and measures 40 feet long and 18 feet tall. Were you surprised? You wanted to be surprised by this story.
Yeah, I did. I told you, I was like, do not tell me anything about the giant banana. Let me look at it with my own eyes. Speechless.
It's a giant banana.
You know what?
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, Chalk the Block itself is very cool.
Yeah, I like that they always bring people from out of town to just make the craziest things that you would not expect.
And
we were surprised by the banana.
We were not expected by Pequeña, but you know what? It's something to look at. And I'm kind of shocked. I usually drive by downtown. I will tell you what, I did not see that banana, which worries me about where I'm looking at.
Well, you might see it on your way back home or
maybe I'll send you a live photo, Paulina, of the banana and the current conditions. But if you have plans to go see Pequeña, make sure you do it early because we are expecting summer rain. So if you do want to go to Chalk the Block, make sure you take plenty of photos before, unfortunately, that artwork could potentially be washed away. It is the bad news that we have for this weekend. We are expecting plenty of rain. We will see our temperatures go down, though, very fall-like. But you know what? Silver lining to all the moisture we will be expecting. Right now out the door, we are currently looking at 22-mile-per-hour gusts. That really is the headline for our Friday. 19 over in Las Cruces, 16 over in Juarez, and 17 for TRC, which isn't too bad, especially for Friday night football. Those temperatures still hanging out in the mid-80s, partly cloudy skies, winds currently at 15 miles per hour. Over in Las Cruces, very similar conditions, slightly cooler at 82 degrees and partly cloudy skies as well. Taking a look at the rest of the borderland and those lows for tonight, we are dropping down here in El Paso to those upper 60s, so it will be a little bit on the warmer end. 65 over in Las Cruces, TRC, Deming, and Alamogordo match that number, with Silver City at a very comfortable 57 degrees. Now for tomorrow, this kicks off our spree of rain showers and storms that will be hitting our region. We are looking at scattered showers beginning around 5 p.m. and then overnight some thunderstorms, which of course can bring flooding, so make sure you're driving carefully and staying weather aware as you're heading out the door. 85 degrees over in Las Cruces for tomorrow, and likely storms and showers. Very similar conditions in the early evening is when we're expecting all that moisture and all the precipitation to begin coming down. 87 over in El Paso, 87 for Juarez for tomorrow, 82 in Deming, TRC, and Alamogordo, all matching those highs. For your allergens, we're noticing a decline, 7 for Saturday, 6 on Sunday, and then down to 3 on Monday. Big in part due to all the moisture we're seeing from those tropical storms that will be hitting the region. Now for our 9 hours, go ahead and take a look at the board. We are dropping down by 7 p.m. We're down to 82 degrees, 10 p.m. 78 degrees. For your 1 a.m. hour, we're down to 75 before we hit 74 for 2 a.m. And then we're just going to continue to drop down as we move into the very early morning hours for your Saturday. So keep that in mind if you're heading outdoors for maybe an early morning walk or a run. For your Saturday through Monday, storm chances and thunderstorm showers, these are all going to be the headlines for these 3 days that are coming up. We're also looking at a drop in temperatures. We'll be hitting those mid to upper 70s as we move into early of next week. Those shower chances decline as we continue to move through the rest of our 9 days. We're looking at 83 degrees for our Wednesday. A little bit of relief in terms of the rain. We still see some slight shower chances. They are set for Thursday and Friday, where we begin to go back up in temperatures. And then for next weekend, it looks like at this time, those skies are going to be clear, and we'll be hitting 85 for next Saturday and 82 degrees for your next Sunday. But we'll continue to focus on the next 72 hours and keep you updated online and on air as we see those weather conditions begin to develop. Paulina, back to you.
Thank you, Tirza. And let's get another look at traffic as we near the 5 o'clock rush hour. It is 4:50 right now. This is I-10 Lomaland. We are still not seeing that traffic buildup that we're used to seeing in the afternoons, but I see it happening in the near future. But for now, everything seems to be running smoothly. And in today's In the Comments, one person is dead this afternoon after an officer-involved shooting outside of a Chili's in Las Cruces. According to Las Cruces Police Department, the incident happened around 6 p.m. yesterday at the restaurant's parking lot on South Telshore. Police say they got reports of a man identified as 50-year-old Philip Adrian Mullen threatening people at the restaurant. Police say when they made contact with Mullen, an officer fired at least one round from his gun. Officers say they tried life-saving measures, but Mullen died at the scene. The officer will be placed on standard administrative leave pending further investigation. Now, we shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had some thoughts you wanted to share. We begin with Mike Seal, who writes, "The guy had a hammer. Don't you think you could have tased him or shot him in the leg? These cops are Rambo cops. Shoot first, ask questions later. Use your head and have a little common sense, for Christ's sakes." Meanwhile, Gloria Ortiz Flam wrote, "People need God. They're unstable and troubled." And Janice L. Moyle McCravey writes, "I understand as someone who has watched loved ones decline and pass due to mental illness. It is awful. Prayers and only love to your family." Now, the Las Cruces Police will be holding a news conference next Tuesday at 11 a.m. We will be live streaming it on KTSM.com and will bring you coverage later that day. And here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. You're watching KTSM 9+.
Financial Fridays, sponsored by One Source Federal Credit Union.
This week's Financial Friday focuses on the final 6 tips to home ownership. Step 6, loan file goes to underwriting. Additional information may be requested from the lending department working on your loan. Step 7, appraisal ordered. A licensed appraisal will set up an appointment to assess the home in person and provide an appraised value. Step 8, appraisal received. If the appraised value is at or above the purchase price, you can move forward with your loan. If the appraised value is lower, you'll need to discuss a new agreement. Step 9, underwriting conditions cleared. You are now clear to close on your forever home. Step 10, schedule closing. Final closing disclosures will be sent 3 to 5 business days prior to closing. Obtain a cashier's check for cash to close 1 to 2 days before your closing date. Step 11, closing day. Don't forget to bring your driver's license. This is very important. Remember, every mortgage application process is unique. We hope this information has helped you. Still have questions? Call us today. Our One Source Mortgage Lending team will gladly assist you on the right path to home ownership. Why? Because we're One Source. Of course.
Financial Fridays, sponsored by One Source Federal Credit Union.
card. Go to KTSM.com today. Serving those who serve. Sponsored by GEC.
All right, we're getting a final look at your exclusive 9-day forecast. Tropical storms are going to bring rain showers and storms starting on Saturday evening, moving all the way up until our Monday. Slight chances for those storms still lingering for our Tuesday, and then we clear out for Wednesday before we see moisture once again for Thursday and Friday. We're also going to see a drop in temperature starting on Sunday. We're going to go below average to those mid to upper 70s. But then for next weekend, as it stands right now, these conditions are looking pretty clear, back to average temperatures. Paulina?
Thanks, Tirsa, and thank you for tuning in to KTSM 9 Plus. I'm Paulina Spencer. 9 News Now with Diana Castillo is up next.